Let me ask you something. Have you ever stopped at a red light, looked to your left, and seen a truck so big, so shiny, so aggressively chrome-plated that it looks like it eats smaller vehicles for breakfast? It's spotless, brand new, lifted, probably costs more than your first apartment. And the thought crosses your mind. How does this person afford that? Because here's the part nobody says out loud. There's a very good chance they don't. Welcome back to NED Finance. Today we're talking about one of the most normalized financial disasters in modern America. The $700, $900, even $1,200 per month car payment. And more importantly, how regular middle-income households are signing up for them. This isn't about judging people. This isn't about saying nobody should buy nice things. This is about understanding a system that quietly drains wealth from the middle class. One monthly payment at a time. The new normal, that isn't normal. Let's establish something important. The average new car payment in the United States has crossed $700 per month. That's not luxury. That's not exotic. That's the average. For trucks and SUVs, payments above $900 per month are common, and in many cases, over $1,000 per month. Now pause. That's $12,000 per year. For transportation, over a 7-year loan, that's $84,000 in payments. And that's before insurance, fuel, maintenance, registration, repairs, depreciation. We are not talking about transportation anymore. We're talking about a financial commitment that rivals housing. And yet, teachers, nurses, office workers, mechanics, retail managers, regular income households are driving these vehicles every single day. So what changed? Because wages did not double. Income did not explode. The middle class did not suddenly become wealthy. So how are people qualifying? How are they affording this? The answer is uncomfortable. They aren't affording it. They're financing it in ways that make it feel affordable. And that difference changes everything. The first lever, loan length manipulation. 20 years ago, a normal car loan was 3 years, maybe 4. Today, 6, 7, even 8-year auto loans are standard. Some lenders now stretch to 9 or 10 years. Think about that. You could finance a vehicle for nearly a decade. And here's why that matters. Let's say you're looking at a $60,000 truck. If you finance it over 4 years at moderate interest, your payment might be around $1,400 per month. That feels insane. So what does the dealership do? They extend the term to 8 years. Now the payment drops to maybe $850 to $900 per month. And suddenly, your brain says, that's doable. Nothing about the truck changed. Only the time horizon. But here's what did change. The total cost. Instead of paying around $67,000 over 4 years, you might now pay $85,000 to $90,000 over 8. That's $20,000 extra. Not for a better vehicle, not for better performance, just for the psychological comfort of a lower monthly number. Dealerships don't sell total cost. They sell monthly affordability. Because humans don't think in totals. We think in monthly pain. The second lever, the monthly payment illusion. Here's a mental trap almost everyone falls into. When you buy groceries, you look at the total. When you book a flight, you look at the total. But when you buy a car, you look at the monthly payment. Dealers know this. That's why negotiations rarely start with, what price are you comfortable paying? They start with, what monthly payment are you trying to stay under? Once you answer that question, you've already lost control of the negotiation. Because now everything becomes adjustable. Loan term, interest rate, down payment, trade-in structure, add-ons rolled into financing. They can move numbers around until the monthly payment matches your comfort zone. Even if the total cost becomes absurd, you're not buying a $60,000 truck. You're buying an $875 feeling. And feelings are easy to manipulate. The third lever, negative equity cycling. Now let's talk about the part that gets dangerous. Cars depreciate fast. Most vehicles lose 20 to 30% of their value in the first year. After 5 years, they may be worth half what you paid. But if you finance that car over 7 or 8 years, you will own more than it's worth for most of the loan term. This is called negative equity. And here's where the trap deepens. After 3 to 4 years, people get bored, or want something new, or need something bigger, but they still owe $32,000 on a car worth $24,000. That $8,000 difference doesn't disappear. It gets rolled into the next loan. So now they finance. New vehicle price, old negative equity, taxes, fees, add-ons, and suddenly their $55,000 truck becomes a $63,000 loan. This is how people are paying for cars they no longer own. It's debt stacking disguised as upgrading. And once you enter this cycle, it becomes extremely difficult to exit. Because to escape, you would need to write a check, just to break even. Most people don't have that liquidity, so they stay in the system. The cultural normalization problem. Now here's something even more powerful than math. Culture. Somehow, a $1,000 car payment became normal. If someone told you they spend $1,000 per month on clothes, you'd assume they have a problem. $1,000 per month on entertainment. You call it reckless. But $1,000 per month on a truck? You nod and say, well, you need reliable transportation. No, reliable transportation does not require leather interiors, panoramic sunroofs, 12-inch touchscreens, off-road suspension systems, and 22-inch rims. We've blurred the line between transportation and identity. Your vehicle is now seen as a success signal, a status display, a masculinity symbol, a stability symbol, a lifestyle brand. Marketing did that. Automakers don't sell engines anymore. They sell freedom, power, adventure, success. And when a purchase becomes emotional, rational math disappears. The hidden cost nobody calculates. Now, let's run real numbers. Let's say someone buys $55,000 truck, 7-year loan, 6% interest, monthly payment, $800. Over 7 years, they pay about $67,000 in loan payments. Now add insurance, $250 per month, $21,000. Fuel, $350 per month, $29,400. Maintenance and repairs, conservatively $15,000. Total transportation cost over 7 years, over $130,000. At the end of 7 years, the truck might be worth $15,000. That means $115,000 evaporated, not invested, not compounded, not building equity, gone. And here's the part that hurts. If that same $800 per month was invested at 8% annually, after 7 years, you'd have over $80,000. Instead of negative equity, you'd have financial momentum. This is what I call wealth destruction disguised as success. But here's the real question. Why are smart, hardworking people doing this? Because it doesn't feel irresponsible. It feels earned. I work hard. I deserve something nice. I'll make more later. I can handle the payment. And technically, they can. Until a job loss, a medical bill, a repair, a recession. Then the $900 manageable payment becomes a crisis. And when 25 to 30% of your take-home income is tied to a depreciating asset, you don't have flexibility. You have fragility. Now let's talk about what really happens after someone signs that loan. Because the dealership experience is only 2 or 3 hours. The financial consequences? 7 to 10 years. And this is where things shift from expensive decision to lifestyle restructuring. When the car becomes the center of your budget, most people don't just add a large car payment to their life. They reorganize their entire financial structure around it. The $850 truck payment doesn't feel overwhelming in isolation. But once it lands in a monthly budget, something has to move. And what usually moves isn't the truck. It's everything else. Vacations get postponed. Emergency fund contributions slow down. Retirement investing gets reduced just temporarily. Dining out gets cut. Subscriptions get cut. Clothing budgets shrink. Some people move into smaller apartments. Some delay buying a house. Some stay with roommates longer than they planned, all to sustain a vehicle. Think about that. Housing is supposed to adjust around income. Investing is supposed to grow with income. But now, income adjusts around the car. That's a reversal of financial priority. And it's more common than most people realize. The second job phenomenon. There's another pattern emerging. People are taking on side work, specifically to afford their vehicle. Driving rideshare, delivering food, weekend gig work. And here's the irony. They're using the expensive truck to generate money, to pay for the expensive truck. It's financial circular logic. Now let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with side income. But when the purpose of your side income is to maintain a depreciating liability, you're working extra hours to protect an ego purchase. And over time, that drains energy that could have gone toward skill development, business building, investment capital, career advancement, instead of wealth acceleration. You're in maintenance mode, the multi-car household trap. Now let's expand this to families. The average American household owns multiple vehicles. 2, sometimes 3, occasionally 4. And it doesn't feel extreme because it's normalized. Dad has a truck. Mom has an SUV. Teen has a car. Maybe there's a weekend vehicle. Now imagine 2 $800 payments. 1 $500 payment. That's $2,100 per month. Before insurance, before fuel, before maintenance. That's over $25,000 per year in loan payments alone. Some households are spending more on vehicles than they spend on housing. And here's what's dangerous. When you finance multiple vehicles simultaneously, you multiply depreciation schedules. You multiply insurance exposure. You multiply repair risk. You multiply financial stress. But because it happens gradually, one purchase at a time, it doesn't feel dramatic. It feels incremental. And incremental financial decisions are the hardest to recognize as dangerous. The insurance reality check. Let's talk about something almost nobody calculates properly. Insurance. When you finance a vehicle, you are typically required to carry full coverage, collision, comprehensive, often gap insurance. On a $60,000 vehicle, insurance can easily hit $200 to $300 per month. In some areas, much higher. 2 vehicles, $500 to $600 monthly. That's $6,000 to $7,000 per year. And unlike a car payment, insurance never ends. Even after the loan is paid off, the premium remains high because the vehicle value remains high. Most buyers don't discover this until after signing, because during negotiation, everyone focuses on the payment, not the ecosystem of costs surrounding it. The maintenance time bomb. Modern vehicles are engineering marvels, but complexity has a price. Advanced transmissions, turbocharged engines, sophisticated electronics, large infotainment systems. When something breaks, it's not a $300 fix. It's a $1,500 fix, or a $4,000 fix, or a $9,000 fix. And here's the problem. Most households making extreme car payments do not have a fully funded emergency fund. So what happens? Repairs go on credit cards. Credit cards charge 18 to 25% interest. Now the truck isn't just expensive. It's compounding against you. And once high-interest debt enters the picture, the math turns hostile very quickly. The opportunity cost over 20 years. Now I want to zoom out, because the real cost of expensive vehicles isn't measured over 7 years. It's measured over decades. Let's say someone consistently carries an $800 car payment for 20 years. Maybe not the same vehicle, but always a similar level of payment. That's $9,600 per year. Invested at 8% annually for 20 years, that becomes roughly $440,000. Nearly $500,000. That's early retirement money. That's financial independence runway. That's generational leverage. Instead, it becomes leather seats, chrome wheels, temporary status signals. Vehicles don't compound. Investments do. And the middle class struggles not because they don't earn enough, but because too much of their cash flow is tied to depreciating assets. Automotive Stockholm Syndrome. Here's where psychology takes over. Once someone commits to an expensive vehicle, they defend it aggressively because admitting it was a mistake would mean admitting financial misjudgment. And humans hate that. So instead, they rationalize. I deserve it. It's reliable. It's an investment. I'll keep it forever. Life is short. All emotionally valid. Financially dangerous. The vehicle becomes part of identity. And when identity is involved, logic loses. This is why it's so difficult to have rational conversations about cars. You're not debating transportation. You're debating self-image. The industry knows this. The automotive industry understands behavioral finance extremely well. They know people shop monthly payments. People underestimate depreciation. People overestimate future income. People value immediate gratification over long-term gain. So the sales system is engineered accordingly. Longer loans, add-ons rolled into financing, trade-in cycling, affordable payment targets. It's not illegal. It's just optimized. Optimized to maximize loan size. Optimized to normalize high payments. Optimized to keep customers returning every few years. It's a machine, and a machine runs on monthly affordability psychology. So what's the alternative? This isn't about saying, never buy a new car. It's about proportionality. Transportation should not consume 25 to 30% of your take-home income. A healthy guideline many financial planners use. All vehicle expenses combined should stay under 10 to 15% of take-home pay. That includes loan, insurance, fuel, maintenance. If your vehicle category is crowding out, retirement contributions, emergency savings, investment growth. It's not a transportation decision anymore. It's a wealth decision, and wealth decisions compound. In both directions. The quiet advantage. Here's the part nobody brags about. The person driving a reliable 3 to 5 year old used vehicle with no loan may look average, but financially, they're accelerating. Every month without a car payment is a wealth-building opportunity. Every dollar not lost to depreciation can be invested, and over time, that discipline separates the person who looks wealthy from the person who becomes wealthy. Final thought. The next time you see that $80,000 truck at a red light, don't assume the driver is ahead. They might be, but statistically, they're probably carrying a massive payment, and the person in the boring sedan beside them might be quietly building a future. That doesn't require financial strain. At NED Finance, we don't chase appearances. We chase leverage, and leverage comes from cash flow, assets, investments, flexibility, not heated seats. If this breakdown helped you rethink how vehicles fit into your financial life, hit subscribe, because the biggest wealth traps in America don't look like mistakes. They look normal, and normal is expensive.